Hey, this is encouraging. Well, it's still early. I'll wait for folks to show up. Taz is kind of here. All right. Well, it is 1 o'clock. Let's see how many other people show up in the next couple of minutes. The three of y'all who are here, hopefully you have your the speaker turned on so you can hear what I'm saying. Vanessa's here, so she already knows what I'm going to say, but basically the way this is supposed to work is we're supposed to look at the 1, 2, 3, 4 pages worth of notes that we would have gone over if we had been in class. And you guys are supposed to let me know something or anything that stood out, got your attention, didn't make sense, had a question about, anything along those lines. And Kevin's trying to join, but then it popped back out, so I don't know what that is. Oh, there he goes. So that whole thing's not going to work if nobody has their microphone on and if nobody is just, contributing. There's no way I can read 4 days worth of notes in an hour and have any sense be made out of it. So this is really going to need a lot of you guys to help me out with. And Kevin he thought he was showing me something, but I guess not. So, yeah. So what's going on? Can somebody say or do something? Malaysia's here. All right, nope, never mind. I thought Malaysia was going to participate. I don't know what's going on. Yeah. like I need some interaction to go on here. I mean, if we have notes, we can look at notes, we can talk about notes. Um, that was kind of the game plan. And Malaysia has bounced.
Yeah, Mr. Zelman, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good, Ricardo.
Yeah, I had a question on the three social classes.
Go
Uh,
for it.
it said even doctors and lawyers would own a country farm, enslave them to show their wealth.
Right.
So, uh, it's on the second page of the notes.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
It said, my question was, why would they have that type of if they already were doctors and lawyers? Why would they still need to get paid have slaves if they could like pay people for them?
Like some people have things just to show off how much money they have. Like, I'm rich, I got a private jet. Well, my private jet's got a more powerful engine than yours, or, my Escalade's got fancier rims, that kind of thing we got now.
Yes.
It would have been the same kind of thing in the South back in the day before the Civil War. Even if you lived in a city and you had a lot of money and you spent most of your time in like Charleston or New Orleans or something, you would still own a cotton plantation out in the nearby countryside. You would hire somebody to run it for you, and you would have slaves to work the land to show off to your rich friend how much richer you were than them. So, like, you met some guy who came to town on a business trip. He's from Charleston. You're having him at your house in New Orleans. The guy from Charleston's like, well, I got 100-acre plantation and I got 50 slaves. The New Orleans guy could brag and say, well, I got 150-acre plantation and 65 slaves. And so this would be kind of a way they would show off how rich they were.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So that's what a lot of it was about. One of the things I wanted to go over in class when I taught in Craven County in eastern North Carolina, when I first started teaching, I found out that the guy who at one point who owned the most slaves in the county, he owned like 35 or 50 slaves. He was actually a free African American himself, but he felt he had to have a plantation with slaves or else nobody would take him seriously. That just, you know, drove me wild that something like that would happen.
So the basically the richer they are, the more most likely they're gonna show up how rich they are by owning the most slaves.
Yeah, the more slaves you had, the richer people would take you to be.
Okay. Thank you for answering my question.
Yeah, definitely. This is what this whole thing was supposed to be about. Yeah, we got Industrial Revolution in the South, the North. We got trying to think. ABL. I don't know how ABL's even in here. Oh well. Manifest Destiny was going to be last week, and the Mexican American War, leading up to the test. So if anybody had questions on any of that stuff, now would have been a good time for it.
Oh yeah, about the Mexican American War. So the president actually, what's the word? Caused it because he sent Novo troops over there, and then the government of Mexico reacted and started fighting because they were basically on their land or
Yeah,
something like that.
that's part of it. I'm going to try to draw you kind of what was going on in Texas, if I can. You just bear with me. Um, Basically, when Polk became president, Texas had just been added to the United States. The problem was you had two versions of Texas, which I'm trying to show you here. Can you see this whole thing of sticky notes that I have? Like, can you see all four borders of it?
It's a little blurry, but I can see the outline.
Let me get a little closer. How about that?
Yeah,
Okay, and you can still see all four parts of it.
I see two writings.
Okay, there's one up. This is supposed to be like the coastline of Texas. And the river up top, that squiggly line that I got near the top of the part, this part right here, that's the Nueces River. And Mexico thought that's where Texas stopped. And so when we added Texas, Mexico thought everything south of Texas was still part of Mexico. And America and Texas thought the Rio Grande was where Mexico, like we think of today. And so that land in between the two rivers, both Mexico and the United States said it belonged to them. And so Mexico had troops in that disputed zone in between the two rivers. And Polk is like, no, we ain't going to put up with that, because he's a big believer in manifest destiny. That's part of why he became president in the first place. So Polk said, nope, we're going to send American soldiers down into American territory, because he thought all of that belonged to the United States. And so he's, sees these Mexican soldiers, and them and the American soldiers start jawing and fighting with each other, and before long shots go off and you have 16 American soldiers get killed. And that's when Polk is like, I knew it, these Mexicans are up to no good. I'm going to declare war on Mexico. We're going to put an end to all this crap. That's, so you're right, it's like, he kind of egged it on, but he did it in a way so he could try to protect himself reputation-wise, if that makes any sense. Does that help out at all?
Yeah, it helps out.
Okay. Yeah, the whole thing about after the war, where we pick up this giant amount of land, is going to really be a big problem later on in Unit 5. So hopefully that's something we'll get to talk about maybe next week. I have to look at the pacing guide and see where we're at, but it's a big part of the second half of Unit 5 for sure. Jose is here, kind of. The big theme of 5 is like Unit 5, America's gonna become split up. Like the first 2 days of notes, you see what the Industrial Revolution does to the North, you see what it does to the South, and then that's going to have more of an impact on how America becomes more and more divided. So like, the notes in the 24th, you're going to see it's more divided than it is in the other notes. And then the 25th, it's even more. The 27th, it's even more. So by the time you get to the last day's worth of notes, I'm not sure if that's the 31st or the first of the month. It's just going to become obvious that the United States is going to have this big civil war. Let's see, I got 6 people in here. Jaquela, Jose, Ricardo, Taz, Vanessa, and myself. All right. So, anybody else have anything about any of the notes, questions about homework, reading packets, any of that stuff? No, a bunch of you guys owe me work. I think only one person has given me, let me double check, the 30 questions for Unit 4. Somebody already turned them in for Unit 5. They're done with 5 already, and that's not due until April 3rd, which is pretty impressive. Look. Unit 4 worksheet. Yep, I got 1. Yep, 2 people have done the 30 questions. So I would, if you haven't written it out, I would make a Google Doc out of it and send it that way. If you have written it out or most of it out, you can finish it up and then take pictures of what you have and email those to me. Um, until I figure out what we're going to do with tests, that packet's going to be worth more because there's no tests or quizzes to fill in the other categories in the grade book. Is there anyone here who would not mind volunteering to be my guinea pig for this little trial test I'm going to try out later on this week? not super familiar. I'm hoping this is working. So, because Taz asked a question in the chat that I answered on the video, so I don't know if you guys can see one and not the other or what. But are there any questions about the 30 question assignments? How to submit them questions? So nobody's got any questions about anything at all? I'm going to sign off in about a minute unless anybody stops me. I will be available tomorrow at 3 and at Thursday at 3 for individual questions about assignments, work, anything like that. If anybody needs me for anything, you can always email me. I will get back to you pretty quickly, unless I'm teaching a class or I'm at home. Mhm. I'm almost done though. See you guys.
Oh, you pinned it. Or you could just exit out. How the fuck do I exit out? X.